Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, climate talks end with progress. School drug problem on the rise. And man pleads not guilty to raping young neighbour.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
11 days of climate change talks and negotiations ended on a high this weekend as close to 11,000 delegates from around the world were farewelled in Bonn, Germany. It was an emotional parting at the Bulla Pavilion as COP23 President Vorenge Bainimarama hailed the meet a success. Akusita Tale has more.
No one could hold back their tears as they bid goodbyes to their counterparts after the two-week conference came to an end.
We all leave Bonn having notched up some notable achievements, including our ocean pathway, the historic agreement on agriculture, an action plan on gender, and a decision that benefits local communities and indigenous population.
Bainimarama says more funding has been secured for climate adaptation, adding steps have been taken to ensure the adaptation fund serves the Paris Agreement. A global partnership was also launched to provide millions of climate-vulnerable people affordable access to insurance.
Right from the start, Fiji has endeavored to use the power of the COP presidency that you invested in us to put people first. We wanted to make a connection between these complex negotiations and the real everyday concerns and aspirations of people the world over.
Fiji's youngest delegates to COP23 were acknowledged for making a huge impact on the world stage. 12-year-old Timothy Naulusala has received a special invite from French President Emmanuel Macron to visit Paris.
Timothy and Shalvi reminded us of the human cost of climate change and our ultimate responsibility, the interest and welfare of our children. Every culture and faith has this as a first principle, and it must be ours as well.
The clock now begins to tick for the major deadlines and events for next year. With the Talanoa dialogue process to take place throughout 2018, more work is needed before the Paris rulebook is agreed upon at COP24 in Poland. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Meanwhile, a national event has been planned to traditionally welcome the COP23 President and his delegation from Bonn, Germany. Permanent Secretary for Itaukei Affairs Naipote Katunitambua says it's a norm to celebrate achievements in accordance with the Itaukei Protocol. Katunitambua says this is a historic moment for Fiji for being the first small island state to assume the COP23 presidency. A march will be held on the main street of Suva this Friday, followed by a traditional ceremony at Albert Park. The public is invited to turn up in numbers and be part of one of the nation's many accomplishments.
We have a committee which is headed by the Chief of Protocol, and from our ministry and the board, Roada Matitini is our rep, and we will continue to liaise with other stakeholders for this awaited celebration.
102 cases of students involved in drugs were recorded from 59 schools in the Central Division this year. National Substance Abuse Advisory Council Chief Executive Mano Senikarawa raised concerns about these cases and highlighted the importance of parental supervision. Savara Tambor reports.
Drugs topped the list of all criminal activities recorded in various schools in the country. 17 cases from 58 schools in the Western Division, while the North and Eastern Division have 16 and 13 cases respectively. ANZAC Chief Executive Senikarawa has no doubt that if students involved are supervised regularly by their parents, they would be less likely to commit to such an offence.
Be aware of what they do, supervise them in their free time, and supervise the use of the internet, because our young people with their young minds, they can be easily affected with what they see and what they can access in the internet.
Tertiary students made similar sentiments in regards to this case.
I do support that idea that parents should be strict with the children during this festival season, as some children they do not get into right tracks.
For me, I support the idea, and because the life of the children is very important.
The National Substance Abuse and Advisory Council last year had recorded 26 reports of drugs, which include smoking, sniffing glue and other inhalant substance from 103 schools in the country. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
The Oceania Customs Organization has recorded an increase in locally manufactured drugs that are either being exported or transitioned through the Asia-Pacific border. Head Secretariat Sevepe Nui says methamphetamine is the most prolific illegal drug in the region as its value and demand is high in the market. Kelly Vadalo reports.
The illicit drug trade in the Pacific is increasing, which has led to more people manufacturing or cultivating the drugs.
We are seeing a trend now where it is not only a case of consumption locally, but local production for exporting that. So seeing at the same time an increasing sophistication of the techniques employed by the drug traffickers, for instance, so that they always come up with advanced ways and means to try and beat the system.
The customs officers have made more than 12 seizures of illicit drugs at various borders so far this year. Now that suspects are using smarter methods to import and export drugs, officers are taking part in a week-long training session to upskill their intelligence.
Cocaine, amphetamine, yeah, marijuana, yeah, that's the common one in the Pacific. Solomon Island, we experienced that for a long time, especially border between Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea.
Provide customs administration skills and knowledge of how to address that through accessing information, customs intelligence information.
The Oceania Customs Organization says the region is often used as a channel for transferring illegal drugs, and they will be looking at providing more security to ensure islands in the Pacific are protected. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
A 28-year-old man of Nausori charged with 1 count of rape, 1 count of attempted rape and 1 count of indecent assault pleaded not guilty to his charges in the High Court today. It's alleged that he raped his 14-year-old neighbour between February 13th and April 30th last year. The trial started in the Suva High Court today, and the prosecution opened the case, saying the victim had to depend on people around her for protection after the alleged incident. The prosecution also said there was a breach of trust, as both the accused and the victim were neighbours. Still to come, rainy weather to continue until January, says Met Office, and Riketi College gears up for Jubilee celebrations. Stay with us.
Number 2 na serre.
Ya lora subuli kurna bili. Borani bat sekarang hambara binaranga. Total takinal na warong na Bula FM. Number 2 na serre. Bula.
Bula FM.
The public is advised to take precautionary measures as we are in the cyclone season now. The Fiji Meteorological Office is also warning the public that we can expect more rain from now until next year that will lead to flash flooding. Felipe Naikaso reports.
The public are being urged to be ready for any natural disasters so they do not find themselves in a compromising situation during the cyclone season.
As we prepare for the festive season, we should also prepare for this TC season, as we already into the first month of the TC season, which is November until April.
The Fiji Meteorological Office is closely monitoring weather patterns and says they will keep the public informed.
This time of the year, rainfall activity will be more common, and this will lead to flash flooding, landslides and all those natural hazards. So we ask you to be prepared.
The public is being advised to take heed of weather warnings.
I think so.
We should have prepared a long time ago, right from Winston until now. We should be prepared for it.
Yes, I think because we are in the cyclone season, and I think we all should be prepared. We see the Winston case where people were not prepared, and a lot of people get really affected with Winston. So, yeah, I think we all should be prepared.
People should be prepared for the cyclone, and because they should know this is the season for the cyclone, they should be prepared.
1 to 2 cyclones are expected to hit Fiji during the cyclone season. This is in addition to 4 or 6 cyclones across the region, which could affect the Fiji group. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Fiji Roads Authority engineers are working on stabilizing the road along Queens Road in Vaisari following a landslide last week. Traffic halted the traffic for few hours as the slipped earth from the hillside extended across the road with a buildup of debris over 2 meters deep. Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says the engineers have also noticed cracks on the road and are now working on it.
They also noticed some lateral cracks appearing in the ground on the other side of the road. So rather than allow that to slip now, they're taking actions in advance to stabilise that area.
From what was once a horse racing track to now developed school with more than 100 students of Ndriketi studying there, this was the beginning of Ndriketi Central College, and now they are gearing up for their Golden Jubilee celebrations that will be held next year. Anna Ravulo reports.
The Jubilee celebration will reflect on the journey of the school and also future plans.
1968, a horse track field, or a horse racing track, developed into Ndriketi Interracial Secondary School. We must thank Mr. Don and Mr. Harry Bull for the initiative to establish this school for the purpose of bringing education closer to our doorstep rather than traveling to the masses.
While launching the celebrations, Chief Guest, the chair of LTEC Limited, says they must not forget the pioneers of the school as they made a lot of impact.
We also remember those who have passed on the baton of service, who have performed well and contributed much to education in general and specifically to development of students and children in rural areas.
The Jubilee celebrations next year will be held for 2 days from the 8th to the 10th of August. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
Turning to world news, the calls for Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe to step down are actually getting louder. The ruling ZANU-PF party has sacked him as its leader and given him until tonight to step down or face impeachment. The 93-year-old defied expectations he would resign during a national address today, instead vying to preside over his party's Congress next month. Ahead in sports with Jamie, former Sevens player makes a comeback, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight, FBC urges customers to spend wisely. And in growing Fiji, new farmland shop specializes in products for dairy farmers. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
In business tonight, as we enter the festive season, the South Pacific Stock Exchange is reminding the public to balance their consumption. Manager Operations Pritesh Prasad says it's vital to maintain balance because consumption is short-term. Prasad is urging the public to spend wisely and opt for investing their money to gain long-term benefits. He says this is the period whereby employees receive their Christmas bonuses. Therefore, it's important to spend wisely and save up for the rainy days.
Consumption, of course, will be there, and especially the historical trends shows that during the festive season as such, the consumption angle takes more focus, where people try to focus more on the consumption end. But if you look at a investor perspective, just to be much more intelligent and looking most on the long-term focus, then people are urged to obviously maintain a balance between the consumption that they do and also looking at the long-term focus by putting their money in some form of investment.
Mark Clark, the new chief executive of the Fiji Development Bank, officially began work today. Clark is an investment and financial services professional with over 20 years of experience as an advisor to government, senior executives of large international institutions, boards and committee members of non-profitable organizations. The chief executive position became vacant following the retirement of FDB's second longest serving CEO, Ratu Tongnivalu, in March. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock markets.
Thank you. Let's look at the South Pacific Stock Exchange market review for last week. A total of 88,719 shares exchanged hands in 19 transactions last week. Total consideration amounted to $172,092. Vision Investments Limited was the most active stocks in terms of volume traded, value and number of trades, and continues to trade at $2.60. The price gainers for the week were Paradise Beverages, which was up by 0.16% and closed at $12.52, while the Rice Company of Fiji Limited was up by 4.42%, closing at $4.02. RB Patel Group was up by 1.39% and ended the week at a new all-time high share price of $3.65. A slight drop was noted in the Freebird Institute shares, which fell by 0.40% and now trades at $2.47. Subsequent to the various share price movements, the overall capitalization of the market rose by 0.16% and concluded the week at a value of $1.73 billion. And that's the wrap from our local stock market.
Thanks for the update, Sharon. Looking at today's current exchange rates set this morning for the Fijian dollar. Our dollar was up against the Australian and New Zealand dollars, our major trading partners, but was slightly down against the rest of the currencies we cover. As for the commodities market, prices were up with oil prices closing at $55.58 a barrel. Gold was up more than $13 to close at $1,292.80 per ounce, and silver rose slightly, closing at $17.24 per ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited has opened its new shop specializing in products for dairy farmers. This has come to fruition as a result of years of planning by the cooperative. Apart from opening the farmland shop, the cooperative has also launched a new website with future plans to develop a specialized app that will allow farmers to access relevant information and data directly. The website and the shop represent a joint investment of close to $500,000 by the cooperative. Chief Executive Sachin Nunn says the shop will sell dairy products based on a two-tier pricing system for shareholders, farmers and outsiders.
I look forward to serving the dairy farmers better, and I'm really grateful to the New Zealand government and the government of Fiji for their continued assistance to FCDC.
And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. In sports tonight, Flying Fijians hope to finish Europe tour with a win. And Fiji football target more international matches for next year. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिकी से। मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Fiji Airways national sevens coach Gareth Weber has named his final squad for the opening round of the World Rugby 7 Series in Dubai and South Africa. Weber has included Fiji Airways Ndrua captain John Stewart and Roni Sau in his final 13-member squad. Captain Jerry Tuwai, Vatemo Rababo, Apisai Ndomo Lailai and Tasa Viramalua, the 4 Olympians in the side. Also making the team is Mesolame Kunavula, Apisai Dhakaum Paulan Rani Sinikula, Tusua Wakurina Mbili, Waisana Dungu, Kalione Nasoko and Aminoni Nasilasila. Fiji is pooled with Australia, Wales and Russia for the Dubai Sevens, which kicks off next Friday. The Fiji Airways Flying Fijians now shift camp to France, where they face Canada in the last test match of the autumn tour. Despite pushing the Irish the full 80 minutes, coach John McKee says they won't be taking the lower-ranked Canadians lightly. Vasnil Prasad reports.
After falling short against Italy 19-10 and then going down to Ireland 23-20, the Flying Fijians hope to rectify things and prove difference against Canada.
Way too many penalties as we did last week against Italy, but today, you know, our discipline was far better. You know, our penalty count was low.
Fiji took the 4th-ranked Irish side to the wire with 2 wonderful tries coming in from Henry Seniloli and Timothy Nangusa.
Wide, and here's Nakarawa out to Nandolo. Nandolo picks it up, and this is danger for Ireland. Nandolo, the winger, option on the inside. The pass goes to hand, and Seniloli for Fiji. The Leinster winger. And then a looping pass, and the edge has been intercepted by Nangusa. Nangusa's going to score. They will not catch the 30-year-old. It's on a plate for him. And his 16th Fijian try. We're going to have a level game.
Coach John McKee says they have to keep the composure in order to overcome its opponent this weekend.
We need to be very focused for that game. We don't want to fall in the trap of thinking that we've done well against a Tier 1 team and Canada or lesser opposition.
Fiji plays Canada at 6 a.m. on Sunday in Narbonne. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Mbati now turns its focus to its clash against Australia in the 2017 Rugby League World Cup semi-final on Friday. Meanwhile, England beat Papua New Guinea 36-6 to set up a Rugby League World Cup semi-final against Tonga despite an error-strewn performance. Vodafone Fiji football coach Christophe Gamel says they're planning to play more friendly matches against top-ranked teams in the future. Fiji has played against higher-ranked Estonia and Indonesia this year, and Gamel says his players continue to show improvement with each performance. Vastal Prasad reports.
The Fiji football team is likely to set up a friendly match against India and the other Asian teams in March next year.
We want to secure India game and another game away in Asia and maybe India here. So it will be a fantastic moment for the Fijian soccer.
The side displayed a courageous performance despite going down to Estonia by 2-0 yesterday. This now gives coach Christophe Gamel more options to secure matches against better-ranked teams in the future.
I remember 9 months ago on today. It's different, and I congratulate the boy and all my staff because we have worked hard for this.
Captain Remuere Takiata says players need to be more disciplined when preparing for the international meets.
You only have to have discipline, having that heart for the country. If given the chance to represent your country, I guess you have to come out and show that you belong to Fiji, fight for the people of Fiji, and most importantly, your family.
For now, the side turns its focus on the Mini-Pacific Games that will be held in Vanuatu next month. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The AFL Fiji Under-15 team is targeting an end to its 2-year drought at the Oceania Cup, which kicks off next month. The side went down 27-22 in last year's final to Nauru, who also won the tournament in 2015. The national Under-15 side is currently in camp, and coach Simon Highfield says preparations are on track.
Fiji team's been training really well.